Hi guys, hope all of you are doing great. So today's topic of discussion is logarithms and indices. But basically for our discussion for today, we're going to be biased on the concept of indices. And we're going to look under indices how we can be able to represent what we call exponential notations. And this basically is a topic that we have already discussed in one of our videos, but some of our members requested that we expound more, or rather we try to have a complementary discussion on the same, so that they can be able to comprehend on some of the concepts that we had already talked about. So basically indices are used of course to indicate a repeated or a multiplication that has been repeated. So basically this is a concept that is used to represent what we call a repeated multiplication. And from the concept of a repeated multiplication, this one implies that a number which has been repeated a number of times. So this is one of the ways in which we can be able to represent them using exponential notations. Now in this case, this is a concept that is used simply because it's one of the convenient ways that is used to give notations. Now in one of our discussions I talked about the concept of scientific notation, and we had said that this is one of the ways in which we can represent numbers in a universal way and a convenient way, so that we can be able to deal with large numbers, or rather sometimes small numbers which are tedious to deal with. Now in this case, whenever I'm trying to talk about this concept of indices, the concept of exponential notations becomes one of the major concepts that need to be comprehended. Now in that sense, I'm going to give an illustration by writing this specific number on the board, which is going to be of course a number that is going to contain a number of elements. Now let me just give this particular number in this case. Now in this case I can be able to give this number n, which is said to be an exponential notation when I expressed in this specific order. So therefore my expression here, or rather the equation that I've given on the board, is going to be in an exponential notation. So there are different elements which are being represented in this exponential notation. The one that is a is referred to as the base, and then this b, can just do away with this. So the b element in this specific case is referred to as a power, and then basically we can just refer to this n as a number. Of course we are going to elaborate on this whenever we are going to give different examples, but in this case this is a general representation that we are going to use to give for an expression of exponential notation. And we're going to see the relationship that exists between this exponential notation and the logarithmic expressions that we're going to encounter later in our discussion. But in this sense now, as we have said, the expression of exponential notation contains these three specific elements, which we are going to encounter perhaps whenever we're dealing with examples of maybe a problem or another. But of essence for us is first to understand that indices are basically numbers which are expressed in forms of powers. And for example, I can just give a second part of this specific representation as an index, whereby we have a which has been raised to a number which is basically a result of n, which is a raised to a number b. So, and as I've said, this is used to of course give an indication of a repeated multiplication, whose role is basically to represent large and small numbers whenever we are dealing with them, especially in calculations in mathematics and sciences. So I hope that this concept of exponential notation is understood, and we're going to see the relationship between this exponential notation and logarithms now that this forms the wider topic of logarithm and indices. Now catch us in our next videos. We're going to look at the integral exponents, or other different types of exponents whose examples I have mentioned, like integral exponents and rational exponents, etc. So that is it for now, guys. Bye. God bless you.